Okay, today we're gonna see a few Leetcode problem solutions, on an alternative. First of all, welcome to yet another master learning portal. This is our GitHub portal, and this is our website. Feel free to chime in, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach us to get any required questions or anything. So the platform we created just to help developers to succeed in interviews. So our main focus is on programming concepts, system design concepts, and design patterns, clean code, how you can write, and then mentorship programming. So let's jump into the code. So these live sessions are we're creating these live sessions only to focus on problem solving on Leetcode. So thing is, like, we are not gonna I'm not gonna do these problems beforehand. So what I'm gonna do here is, like, I will go here and do one by one problem solutions. Then we can see that how the problems are achieving. So along with that, I have created another a small video I will share with you. So how you can integrate the connection between Leetcode and a GitHub, so that when you solve any problems, that problems will be published into your GitHub. So let's start our let's don't delay and start our problem solving. Okay, so for like a first 5 to 10 episodes, I'm gonna cover only easy level problem solving, and slowly we will jump into medium and hard once we get like a more people join into our course. Okay, so the first problem is a two-sum problem. Everybody can take a time and they can read. I'm gonna read one more time. Given an array of integers, nums, and an integer target, return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. So that's the requirement, and these are the inputs. Like, you can see an example here. They provided nums array like a 2, 7, 11, 15, and target is a 9. So if you see, the output is a 0 and 1, where we are returning indices where the sum is equal to the target. So here 0 and 1, which is a 2 and 7. So number of the array 0 plus array of 1 first index element, which is a 2 plus 7 is 9. Similar way, second one is a nums, which is a 3 to 4, and target is a 6, and you can see 2 plus 4 is a 6. So we are returning indexes of 2 and 4, which is a 1 and 2. So the third one is also nums 3, 3, target is a 6. So you know that 0 and 1. So when this question is asked in your interview, what kind of requirements you can the first thing you have to do in your interview is, like, you have to ask follow-up questions to given requirement. Okay, that is the first step. The second step, you can come up with a pseudo logic, and don't write pseudo logic, and try to give a pitch to explain that pseudo logic. And third thing, write a code. When you're writing a code, try to speak louder so that interviewer know that, like, what you are trying to do. And the fourth step, walk through the code. Don't directly run, because if you directly run the code, you may find some syntax error or any such kind of things. So manually walk through the code so that you can understand where exactly you're missing the pieces. Then last step, run the code, run test cases to execute the program. That's it. Okay, so let's go to jump. I'm gonna cover these 5 steps approach in next video, but as this series cover only problem solving method, let's go. If somebody, you jump into one interview and they ask this question, like what kind of questions you can ask your interviewer? There are so many, right? Like, one thing you can ask, even though they provided like exactly one question, one solution, maybe you can ask that like, is it always a one problem is, one solution is already always exist? Yes, it is there. So that's it. And then the same elements not duplicated and the numbers is not sorted order. You can see that even though here it is increasing order, but if you see it's a 3 2 4, which is not sorted order, right? So the duplicates are allowed, yes, because you can see that on example 3 the duplicates are allowed. So maybe you can ask like, is always an integer? Yes, it is an integer. You can see that requirement. Target, is the numbers always integer? Yes, all numbers are integers, and the target is also integer. So which means one thing we can avoid. Okay, one corner case is there. You can talk about that corner case before jumping into interview. That is like integer out of bound. Means like I'm choosing Java as a programming language, but you can choose Python or any other programming language. But if it is a Java, integer range is like 32 bits. So there is a chances that integer out of bound, out of range exception can occur. Okay, so you can inform him that like, I will consider that use case. Once I write the code, I will optimize that. Okay, that shows your thinking in advanced level, like scalability level. So, but don't worry about it. So here is the brute force approach, which I wrote a long back. So brute force is a pretty simple. We'll iterate through each element and we try to find, one array, one element at a time. And the second array, inner array, inner for loop, outer for loop, per element level, inner loop from I+1 onwards, where some, the outer element plus inner loop element sum equals to target. So in this case, what I'm trying to do here is like, you can see that I equals to 0, I less than numbers, numbers length, which is nothing but all these 4 elements, where I'm doing inner for loop, where j equals to I+1. So ideally, in this problem, if you think about like this, so for this input, okay, let's do this one. For this input, when I equals to 0, that means numbers of I value, which is nothing but 2. So the inner loop, I'm iterating to all the remaining elements, which is nothing but 7, 11, 15. And I'm trying to do that sum of each element, which is nothing but numbers of j is 7. So we are comparing 2 plus 7 here. If it is a target, we are just returning that. So, suppose if it is a 11 here and 7 is here. So first we will check with the j equals to I+1. So j will be 11. And then next, this is not true. 2 plus 11 is not 7. Not 9. Target is 9. So then we'll go to the next iteration where we do that another element, which is nothing but j will go to 7. And then j will go to 15. Like that, we'll reading each and every code. And this is the way we are writing 2 for loops to iterate through. So that's brute force approach. Rather than going for a brute force approach, let's go for a optimum solution way where we can find this one. So what I'm gonna do, optimum finding solution, which is one which is popping on my mind right now, is using hash logic. So what I'm trying to do, let's write that code. Okay, so I'm gonna create HashMap. Okay, so I'm gonna put integer and integer, where that's will be result, or like a temporary hash map, or you can use a map where you can use new hash map. Okay, so when you're writing in Java, try to use interface on the left side, class name is on the right side. So in this map, what I'm gonna do, I will read the for loop one by one. Okay, or let me copy this one. Okay, so for each index, I'm reading the numbers. So when I'm trying to do reading that number, I will check that if map contains key. Okay, if map contains a key, let's do this operation, one operation. What I'm trying to do here is I'm checking if I already find it. Let's do that else condition, and then I will try to explain like what I'm doing at if condition here. In else condition, what I'm doing here is, so for a given number I, okay, for a given number I, and I put that, I will find, I mean, because we need to do that two numbers sum equals to target, right? So I'm gonna find first subtraction, where it is nothing but int. Let us assume if it is a x and y, if you think about x and y, we need x and y equals to target. This is what our requirement, right? Target, this is what our requirement. X plus y equals to target. So my logic here is, in a hash map, I will keep target, if you move this x2 on this right side, so which is nothing but target minus x, right? So I'm going to keep this value in the map. So if it is there, then I will find and I will return. So what I mean here is, this map holds target minus y in the key and in the second value pair, which is the index position. So what I'm gonna do, let's put that one. If it is not there, map dot put the target minus nums of I, and I would like to put index position, which is I. Now if I go to if condition, so in this first, let us see this one, the first iteration, when 2 comes, target 9 minus 2, which is a 7, I'm putting 7 with the index I, which is nothing but, for a given value 2, I need extra 7 points to reach the target. For example, similar way, for given 7, I need 2 extra points to reach 9. So that is the way I'm doing that subtraction operation, and I'm putting that in there. Suppose if map dot contains the key of information, okay, which is nothing but numbers of I. Okay, if the map dot contains that key value, what I'm gonna do, first I need to get the value, which is nothing but index of that number I. Okay, I'm getting that index of that position. Okay, so now what I will do, I will return the new integer where one index is I, second one is a where exactly that subtraction value is there. Okay, so let's, I mean, rather than doing this way, in the proper way is like index and I, that is a proper way. Let's do that way. Then what I'm gonna do is the next step, after, if I couldn't able to find any result, I'm gonna return new integer 0. That's it. Which, or like I can return an empty array or null also possible. That's it. So let's do this one. Okay, so once you write this code, what is our next approach? We need to look into and walk through whether we resolve this problem or not. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, let's do this way, walk through the code. So here I have inputs, which is 2, 7, 11, 15, and the target is a 9. So initially the map is empty, so I'm checking that map contains 2? No, map is empty. It doesn't contain any key. Obviously, it will go to else block, and where it will put that map will contains 2 values, right? Target minus numSci. Target is a 9 minus 2, which is a 7, and that index position corresponding one is 0. That's it. Okay, so this is a 1 pair it contains. When it is coming to the next time iteration, where I equals to 1, where it is a 7, when you see map dot contains key, obviously the 7 is already there, number of 5. If it is 7 is there, so what you need to do, fetch that corresponding index. You found that index is 0, so I'm returning that index with I, which is nothing but new value. Okay, so this is nothing but it will return 0 and 1. Yeah, it's a correct one, you can see that. So let's try for the second one, which is nothing but 3, 2, 4 and 6. Target as a 6. So let me erase this. Let me erase this too. Initially it is map is empty. So let's see. So for I equals to 0, which is nothing but 3, I will go through inside here. Map contains key. It's a false statement because map is empty. It doesn't contain any key. I mean 3. So we'll go to map dot put target minus nums, which is a 6 minus 3. Obviously it's a 3. So it puts 3 and index position 0. And the next statement, what it does is like, okay, so now when it goes to the next iteration, when I equals to 1, it goes like a map contains numbers and I. So 2, right? Does map has a 2? No, it doesn't have the key 2. It has only 3. That goes to again else block, where it puts target minus number, which is nothing but 6 minus 2. Obviously it is a 4. 6 minus 2 is a 4, and the index position is a 1. Now once it comes to back, again it will go to the third time. So the third time, when it goes to third time, the input, I mean I index position is 0, 1, 2. 2 means here 4. So then it goes here, it checks map dot contains key. Yes, 4 is already exist. So it goes immediately inside the our if condition. There we will find index position by getting that get corresponding number of I. So here the 4, here number of I is a 4. So 4 index is a 1. So we're returning that 1 and the I value, which is nothing but 2, index 2. So we'll return 1 and 2 as an index. See? So sounds good. We got we solved that required problem. So what we can do as a next step, we can run the code in interview. You can see that general test cases looks good. It is running well. What you can do is like you can submit the code, or you can run. I mean, that's nothing but if you are using any interview programming, then you can use that CodePad editor or HackerRank or any portal, and then you can submit. That's good. Now, once you complete the problem in a given timeline, later steps, you can inform him like, you give like a 2-minute statement like, I'm gonna improve this one. How you gonna improve that is like, if it is a production ready code, you need to check that if numbers is null or empty. So that condition you can add here. If numbers dot length is equals to 0, return null or something like that. And parallelly like similarly like that, if it is a nums equals to null, or if it is a null or length is 0, then I will return null. Like that you can add that statement. So if you submit, so it's nothing much change any things. Once again, let me see. Variable nums of type integer array. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So nothing much. It's like just we are doing that validation. What happened? Oops, sorry. Yeah. Unfortunately, and Leetcode, not only unfortunately, Leetcode doesn't provide you any such kind of what is it called? Any code related suggestions. It is really good that you don't need to use any coding side. You can directly start. I mean, like you can get a hands-on quickly while running the code. Okay. So this is one of the solution. Now, if you take a look at this Leetcode solution, there are like a pretty much different possible solutions are there. Like one is a brute force, which is a pretty simple 2-pass hash table, where we are using like a 1-pass hash table. We are keeping that all the data, and second pass we are checking whether it is there or not. That's a pretty much same one, but we are using like a single pass to verify that. Yeah, 1-pass hash table. This is the one I did that approach. So is there any other approach? Any solutions are there? Give a thought. Yeah. Okay. That's there is multiple ways you can solve the problem, but this is one of the use case where we are using HashMap again. So let us assume the next question interviewer asks you, like, what if, I mean, you implemented this code runs on a server, it's good. What if you use this problem on a mobile app? When you are running in a mobile app, let us say, I mean, because HashMap is a really cool feature, cool data structure which provides you order of one time complexity for read operation and write operation. So, but the problem here, I mean, write operation sometimes it takes some delta time, but read operation mostly it's order of one time complexity. So, how do we achieve that? That's another chapter when we will see that the data structures one. But this is kind of like a good example. Again, HashMap has a drawback when it gets like a collision or when the loading factor increases more than certain limit. You have to increase the size of HashMap and copy the existing elements to a new HashMap. That's only drawback. So in a mobile app, if it is your numbers is a large, or like it's a series of data, like a large chunk of array, then it is difficult. But now if you see the given input condition, there is a number start length is less than 10 to the power 4. So it is fine too. You can use a HashMap. Okay. Yeah. Any questions? Anything? Any comments? Do you guys have any suggestions? So that's it for today. Have a nice day. We'll see another problem tomorrow.